Hello, my name is Andy and I am the village idiot. I'm on with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. Welcome back to Wakefield. And even though the sun is shining today, it's quite cool, it's deceptive. I've got the hoodie on just to keep myself warm in the glorious September sunshine. And I'm outside a very large church here with a big tower. We're going to go and explore this village in a few moments, starting at this church. And there's quite a few bits to this parish. We have a main village, which is where I am now. We have an area that was built on the site of a former colliery. We've got a nice viewpoint across a massive wide escarpment, and then another small village which leads to a motorway and a service station as well, which is on that motorway. So there's quite a lot to cover in this one. This is the parish of Woolley. Quite a lot of interesting stuff just in the church, which is could probably fill a video on its own. Okay, now I'm going to walk around the village, and it's a nice circular walk. I'm going to go that way. That will lead us then around to the right, and we'll come round here onto the high street. And at that point I'll go back towards the church because there's a footpath which leads across a field. Not quite sure where it goes, but I suppose we'll find out when we get there. The next thing to look at is the War Memorial, which is on this corner on Mollyhurst Lane. Well, I would enter the playing fields using that style, but I've still got shorts on even though it's quite cool out here, and there's some nettles there, so I'm hoping for another entrance around this side, but I need to walk around here anyway, so hopefully I will find one. Okay, well, I've never been here before, and my first impressions of this village are it's very, very posh. Very posh. I get the impression that the house prices here will be quite large. So that footpath I was talking about earlier seems to come across this field along the edge where the trees are, you can see in this shot. So as you can see, there's not really much there apart from a field, so it's probably not worth walking along the footpath. It leads to some houses on New Road at the other side that you can also see in the shop. So it's probably not worth walking across that footpath, to be honest with you. So that means my next place to go is to Woolley Hall, and to get to that I have to drive down here. So let's hop back into the car and go and find Woolley Hall. Now obviously I can't go through the gates because Woolley Hall is a private property, but of course I can stand right here. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lodge there, that would have been a gatehouse I would have thought. And beyond Woolley Hall, over to the right of the shop, there's a golf course. It's Woolley Park Golf Course, and again I won't be able to access that, but I will include in today's picture bit some more about the hall and of course the golf course as well. Our next stop takes us away from Woolley, and we're going towards Woolley Grange now, which is something a little different. It's the site of the former Woolley Colliery. Okay, it's important to make the distinction between Woolley Grange and Woolley Colliery Village, which this sign here tells me I'm about to enter. Woolley Grange, that's everything you can see over there, whereas Woolley Colliery Village is here. I think two rows of terraced houses, and the important thing to note about these two rows of terraces is that these are actually not in Wakefield, they are in Barnsley. They are over the border because this road here is the border between the two districts, and therefore also by default the two counties of West Yorkshire and South Yorkshire, and those houses there are Woolley Colliery Village. There's a nice little information board over there as well, that might tell me a little bit more about them. And you can even tell that they're in a different district as well by the road signs. You'll have noticed by now that Anywhere in Wakefield has the black road signs with the white writing. Over here, this one's called Low Row, and it's even got a Barnsley Council logo on it. To the left, Low Row leading to Woolley Colliery Road and Bluebell Road. So there you go. There is a difference. Okay, so the majority of Woolley Grange is exactly like what I've already shown you. The houses are very similar all the way up through the estate, so there's no point in me walking around all of it. It would be like repeating myself. But what I will do is I'll put the GoPro on the dashboard and I'll drive up to the top of Woolley Grange, because there's some nice views we can get from up there. And also then onto the road which runs between Woolley Grange and Woolley, up to a viewpoint which looks over Woolley Edge, the escarpment that I mentioned at the very beginning. Alright, so the viewpoint I was trying to get to, it looks like it's closed. There's a gate across it and I can't get in. So what I've decided to do is just park at the end of Haigh Lane here and look across Woolley Edge from here. It's still just as gorgeous. So next, the GoPro is going back on the dashboard and we're going to drive down through the elongated village of Haigh, and it runs all the way to the M1 junction 38. Let's go. Alright, just before we end this episode at Woolley Services on the M1 northbound, it's time to give you guys today's picture bit. Here it comes. And that's just about it for the parish of Woolley. Now there are two sides to these services. I'm on the northbound side, and of course there is a southbound side behind those trees because that's where the M1 is. And unlike Woodall services on the M1, which we've seen before, the very first TVI video no less, in Harthill with Woodall, there's no footbridge which connects the two here. There is a road bridge, but to get to that you have to be either in West Breton or in Woolley to access the road that runs between those two villages across the services. And that bridge is actually over there, over this little slip road that you use to access them from the M1 northbound. There you go, parish of Woolley complete. You may have noticed I've ditched the hoodie. It started to get a little bit warm now, so next week I'll be down to just the t-shirt because I'm about to go to my next village right now, in fact, to film that one. And I'll see you next week in the city of Wakefield. There's only 9 more parishes to go here now. This has been the parish of Woolley, and I've been Andy, otherwise known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out.